When you look at the story arcs in Bleach, you will notice that each arc is dedicated to one of Ichigo's friends. The Soul Society arc focused on Rukia, the Rancor arc centered on Orihime, and the Fullbring arc had Chad as one of its main characters. But in Thousand Year Blood War arc, which revolves around the Quincy's, the spotlight is currently on Uryu Ishida. And Taichi Kubo himself mentioned this even before the Thousand Year Blood War arc began, hinting that this arc would be about Uryu Ishida. However, Ishida's characters differ significantly from the others who were the focal points of the previous arcs. For example, Rukia returned to the Soul Society to face the death penalty and tried to leave Ichigo behind in the human world to protect him from risking his life for her. Yet we saw how Ichigo and his friends, including Uryu Ishida, all went to rescue her. Battles were fought, blood was spilled, but Rukia never wanted Ichigo and his friends to get hurt for her sake. The same thing we can say about Orihime. She faced a similar situation. She went to Wake Commando to protect her friends, only to be taken hostage by Aizen Sasuke. It was revealed to the Shinigamis that she was never truly aligned with the enemy. For her sake, battles were also fought, and Uryu Ishida joined Ichigo to rescue Orihime. And in the Fullbring arc, Ichigo struggled with losing his powers and went to Ginju's group to regain them. Chad was also there, aiming to learn about his own Fullbring abilities. While Chad didn't face a situation like Rukia or Orihime, his ultimate goal was for Ichigo to regain his strength, even though he was being manipulated. But in the opposite, it was Uryu who exposed Ginju's scheme to Ichigo and revealed what was truly happening. However, in the current arc, the Quincy arc, Uryu Ishida is naturally its focus. What's new here is how Kubo made Uryu against his friends. He aligns with Ichigo's enemy, Yhwach, meaning there is no mission to rescue Uryu Ishida from Yhwach. And this is because Uryu himself chose to join Yhwach, who granted him the title of Prince of Light and named him his successor. Moreover guys, we can see that Kubo made Uryu's anime version darker than his manga version. And this raises questions. Why did Uryu characters undergo such a transformation? Why has he suddenly taken the path of anti-hero? What is his true goal? So these answers to these questions aren't as simple as they might seem. No, they lie in the roots of Uryu's character, his childhood, his family, specifically his mother Kachigiri, grandfather Soken, and father Ryuken, and even Ichigo and Yhwach. All these characters and events intertwined to create this personality of Uryu. That's why guys, to talk about Uryu and his true goal, we need to talk about his childhood. But before that guys, let's talk about something different. It's worth noting that Japanese culture has a fascination with blood types, believing they play a key role in shaping personality traits, comparable to how some cultures value astrology. Blood types are often included when creating characters in the manga, along with other details like birth dates, likes, dislikes, and so on. And Kubo did the same thing with some characters, especially with the human characters like Uryu. People with these blood types are often portrayed as either geniuses or psychos, and they are known for being mysterious and complex, making it difficult to predict their thoughts, because their personalities combine traits from both blood type A and B, leading to unpredictable and surprising decisions. And that's why I said guys, to deeply explore Uryu Ishida's personality and traits, we need to go back to the beginning, his childhood and the events leading up to his decision to join Yhwach. If we consider Ichigo's birth, which was surrounded by complex events, with him being unaware of his Shinigami's roots, his mother Quincy origins, or powers within him, Uryu experienced something similar. Uryu was born to a father of pure Quincy blood, Ryuken Ishida, whose family was one of the few survivors of the Shinigami's extermination of Quincy's 200 years ago. His mother, Kachigiri, was of a mixed blood and merely a servant in the Ishida family. However, the events surrounding Masaki's contamination with the Hollow White disrupted the marriage between Ryuken and Masaki. That's why Ryuken married Kachigiri and they had Uryu. And from the little information we have, it's clear that Uryu was deeply attached to his mother, as shown in this image. and he undoubtedly had a strong bond with his grandfather, Soken. As for Ryukin, it seems his perspective shifted after Masaki's fate and perhaps even Kachigiri's death. He started focusing more on Uryu's future rather than preserving Quincy traditions, hiding major truths about their history of the Quincy from his son. And Soken, Uryu's grandfather, also played a role in this secrecy. From what we have seen, Soken was a former member of the Wanderreich and was well versed in the Quincy history. He knew about the war 1000 years ago and the Quincy's loss, Yhwach's existence, and the Auswehren, which killed both Kachigiri and Masaki. And the only survivor from that ritual was his grandson Uryu. So Soken seemed dedicated to studying everything about the Quincy's, particularly the Auswehren, conducted by Yhwach. And he documented his knowledge in these diaries, covering the First 1000-Year War and Yhwach and even details about Uryu, including the true cause of Kachigiri's death and Uryu's survival. And so it appears Soken and Ryukin wanted to shield Uryu from critical truths about Yhwach and the 1000-Year War. Ryukin especially aimed to keep Uryu in the dark about everything, but both seemed intent on hiding significant truth about Uryu's identity, one even we don't fully know yet. However, Soken didn't entirely hide information from his grandson. He shared one aspect of the Quincy history, the story of the Quincy massacre 200 years ago, caused by the conflict with the Shinigami about killing hollows. The story Soken told Uryu was similar to the Shinigami's version, but Soken emphasized his desire to find a way for the Shinigami and the Quincy's to work together. That was his vision. Yet Uryu, despite his young age, had questions that likely put his grandfather in a difficult position. For example, in this scene, Uryu remarks that the story Soken told was missing details. It's true that Uryu meant something else, but the question could also imply a deeper perspective that Soken didn't tell Uryu the full Quincy history. And another significant moment is when Uryu notes that their Quincy uniforms are old-fashioned, unlike his or his grandfather's. And this subtle detail suggests Uryu already has ideas different from his grandfather, who wanted to preserve Quincy traditions rather than modernize them, as the Wanderreich sought to do. And despite this, as Uryu himself stated, the story of the Quincy massacre 200 years ago didn't hold much meaning for him, and he didn't seem to harbor any deep hatred for the Shinigamis. He even admitted this to Ichigo. The problem arose when his grandfather was killed. As you know, the Shinigami monitored the remaining Quincy survivors, including Soken. So one day Soken faced 5 hollows at once. Uryu witnessed the battle, which ended in Soken's defeat. So the Shinigami who were supposed to intervene and kill the hollows intentionally delayed their arrival, leading to Soken's death. So this incident instilled a deep hatred for the Shinigami in Uryu, as he saw them as a reason in his grandfather's death. That's why Uryu wanted to become stronger to prove to the Shinigami that their existence was unnecessary. He spent a long time seeking a Shinigami to confront until he eventually met Ichigo. And Ichigo changed Uryu's perspective on the Shinigamis, or rather helped him to understand what his grandfather truly wanted: cooperation between Shinigamis and Quincy's. So Uryu saw Soken's ideas reflected in his battle alongside Ichigo against the Hollows and the Minos Grand in the human world. Uryu also came to a deeper realization. His hatred for the Shinigami was merely a way to distance himself from the pain he had carried for years, which is his weakness and inability to save his grandfather when he faced those hollows. And Ichigo's presence, as we said, altered Uryu's outlook, inspiring him to follow his grandfather's path of cooperation between the two groups. And this was evident when Uryu joined Ichigo to rescue Rukia. In the Soul Society arc and Uryu's battle against Mayuri, it became evident that Uryu is no ordinary Quincy boy. His mastery of techniques like Ranso Tengai and the Quincy final form demonstrated his brilliance and hinted at a deeper mystery surrounding him. It's possible that even Mayuri sensed this, which might explain why he reported the matter to Yamamoto and urging cautions about the potential existence of other Quincy's. However, Uryu himself wasn't aware of this secret. He believed he and his father were the only Quincy survivors, but this assumption was partially incorrect. The truth is, Uryu is the sole survivor among all the other hybrid Quincy's, and this lack of knowledge stemming from his father and grandfather hiding the truth about Yuabach. So we can't imagine the surprise that Uryu had when he discovered this truth through the appearance of the Arankara Ebren. By reading the diaries of his grandfather. This moment, guys, revealed the complexity of Uryu's personality and his capacity for unexpected decisions to achieve his goals. Uryu's actions often reflect a degree of selfishness, especially when he wants something he desires. For example, when he used the bait to attract hollows, he didn't consider the potential danger that could affect innocent lives. And the same thing when Uryu learned the truth about the Quincy's, about Yuabach, about the war happened 1000 years ago, about his survival and his mother's death due to Auswehr, and also his true identity. All these events, all this truth led him to join Yuabach. We can say that his hidden motive was likely revenge for his mother's death, since she died because of Auswehr. That's why Uryu was determined to go for his goal, even if it meant becoming an enemy to his friends and forcing them into conflict. So he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his personal objective. And Uryu once again showed a disregard for the consequences of his actions. He didn't seem concerned about what might happen to the world if Yuabach, the current Soul King, were to die, nor did he know whether his plan to kill Yuabach would even succeed. But in the manga, it wasn't like that. Uryu's appearance like enemy was too little. Uryu's opposition to Ichigo was limited to brief skirmishes. However, the anime took this further, portraying Uryu as a more decisive and committed to siding with Yuabach. At one point, Uryu explicitly told Yuabach that after reading Sokin's diaries, he concluded that coexistence between Shinigami and Quincy's was impossible. But I believe Uryu's statement referred to the events from 1000 years ago, the Quincy's defeat and possibly other details from Sokin's writings. But still, Uryu likely only told Yuabach what he wanted to know. We know that Uryu's ultimate goal was to kill Yuabach, even if it meant deceiving his friends, including Ichigo, into believing he was truly aligned with Yuabach. In a sense, Uryu became the Quincy equivalent of Gin Ichimaru. He was willing to go to any length to achieve his goal, even if it meant being seen as a traitor and an enemy by everyone around him. So I'm really eager to know what's gonna happen next to Uryu in the anime. Did his fate would be like in the manga or what? So guys, what do you think about Uryu's personality in the anime version? Tell me guys your opinions in the comment and see you guys in my next video.